Hello, my name is Jake Hallam, and today I will be discussing the very intriguing topic known as film music in movies. I will be analyzing a few different scenes that introduce a couple of different thematic elements that add a lot to a movie that you don't even realize initially on your first viewing, or maybe even second. You just have to really pay attention to it. And it's things that I've noticed over the years, and I think it would be very interesting to talk about. So first I'm just going to do a brief introduction of the three different types of scores that you should usually come across in mainstream movies. Firstly, there's the central thematic score element, which usually progresses throughout the film as the main theme. Usually different characters have central themes that repeat, so it's recognizable. Second is the action sequential score element, which is typically an underscore for intense sequences of progression, like a chase scene or a robbery. And third is the sound score element, which is typically not as easy to listen to, but more just adds to either tension or it just does something other than please the ears. It just adds to the scene as a whole. So the first of the three main thematic music elements in film scores is the central thematic music, which is usually introduced early on in the film. It's what you tend to be humming walking out of the theater and is more iconic. It varies throughout the film, usually into different tracks, and it showcases the different scenes and tensions. So a few specific examples would include Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Mia and Sebastian's theme from La La Land, or The Shape of Water from The Shape of Water. So for our central thematic music example, I've pulled a clip from the 2018 film Crazy Rich Asians, directed by John Cho. Warning, it will contain spoilers for the film. The love theme for the main characters has been introduced multiple times throughout the movie at this point, in previous score tracks such as Approaching the Palace and Rachel's Story, to help progress the relationship between the two stars. At this point, our main character Rachel has turned down her boyfriend Nick's proposal because his mother didn't approve of her. Rachel has asked Nick's mother to a game of mahjong for one last conversation. However, look at the way the love theme track is varied in this scene.
That it was because of me. A poor, raised by a single mother, low-class immigrant. Nobody.
The theme starts playing as soon as Rachel reveals her winning hand, and she walks over to her own mother, who is waiting at another table nearby, another immensely loving relationship in the movie. Nick's mother realizes she is lost even though she got what she ultimately wanted. The track up until this point has only been used to symbolize Rachel and Nick's relationship, where here it is used to showcase the strong mother-daughter bond between the twos. It has progressed over the course of the movie to mean the same thing in a new light. Moving on to our second type of film music is the action or fight scene music. It's typically fast-paced and it supports the pace of the action on the screen. It incorporates themes like from Star Wars, Mission Impossible, or The Avengers, but it's not like the main theme overall, like the central thematic element, more as it's vital to the storytelling aspect of the filmmaking, and it adds a lot to the scene as an own scene on its own. So it's not necessarily a plot-driven type of theme, more as just to add to the overall nature of the scene as itself. Some specific examples from it include African Rundown from Casino Royale, Stairs and Rooftops from Mission Impossible Fallout, or Waterfall Fight from Black Panther. All very intense, very rushing scenes. For the action music example, I've pulled a clip from the 2012 film Skyfall, directed by Sam Mendes. The music that underscores the tone of this scene isn't really pulling from any previous themes introduced earlier in the film, more so that it's using instruments and dynamics that indicate something much more abrupt and chaotic is going on screen. Take a listen. The third and final type of film music that I'll be introducing to you today is the sound score music element. It's not usually easy to listen to on its own, and it more so fully immerses the viewer into the visual medium it is behind. It tends to not use ordinary orchestral elements either. If it uses a cello or a euphonium, it might use them in a more unconditional manner that adds to the tone of the film more as it would be adding to any sort of beautiful playing. It evokes emotion in the viewer by setting a tone. Some specific examples include Convoy from Sicario, Heptapod B from Arrival, or The Municipal Dome from Isle of Dogs. For my final example, I'm using a clip from the 2013 film Gravity, directed by Alfonso Cuarón. The scene at hand is very action-packed, but unlike the action score part, it's almost as if the music in the background is a part of the scene itself and wouldn't even make much sense if it wasn't put behind the scene it was specifically written for. Let's watch for ourselves Parachute by Stephen Price. See what I'm talking about? Seems almost impossible to put that piece of music behind anything other than this exact scene where Sandra Bullock scrambles for her life around this debris. So in conclusion, film music is super impressive, and most don't even know that it's the sole reason of what's pulling their heartstrings in a rom-com, or perhaps causing the audience to be on the edge of their seat like in a gripping thriller. Just be aware that music is so important in every aspect of film and should be taken as seriously as the stars that brace the front screen. Thank you for your attention in this, I find, incredibly intriguing topic of music in movies. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.